I'm with Jeff Annison, who is the co-founder of Legion M. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you very much. We're having a great time.
Yeah, so this is what, your second WonderCon here, or third?
We formed the company almost just over 3 years ago, so this is our second WonderCon.
Yes, I think I remember Legion M being here. Was it last year?
And we were here last year with Bad Samaritan, the Dean Devlin project.
Right. And I'm trying to remember. I think I remember there was like this one instance. You guys had like an elevator pitch.
Yes. Yeah, we did that at Los Angeles Comic-Con. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We built a full-size elevator on the set of Comic-Con, and you could step inside, and there was a countdown timer and a cameraman, and you had 2 minutes to pitch your idea for a movie or TV show. It was awesome.
So did any of those ideas came to fruition?
Well, we're still actually working with it. So the way that it worked was we ended up with over 400 pitches. It was like 10 hours worth of footage if you were to watch them all. And we created a game that allowed our community to come in and rate and evaluate and help us narrow it down to the top 10. And we're just about at that point. Those 10 people then get the opportunity to pitch their idea live to a panel of studio execs and agents. And the whole idea is that anybody can have a great idea. It's just most people don't have the connections to get that in front of the people that can make a difference. And so for those 10 people, they're going to get that opportunity. And then one of the projects will be selected and it'll be added to our slate. So it's a wonderful program, and we had a lot of fun with it.
Well, you guys have already came a long way in a short amount of time span.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like I said, we formed the company just over 3 years ago. And at the time it was funny because what we're doing is brand new. It's never been done before. It's never been possible before. And back at the time it was this idea. It's like, oh, wow, we think it's a great idea to have a company that's owned by fans. And it's amazing now because we can look back and we can reflect and show like, oh, well, yeah, it actually worked out. You know, we invested in Colossal with Anne Hathaway and Mandy with Nicolas Cage. We've worked on a Dean Devlin project. We've got, you know, a Tolkien movie coming out. We've got Kevin Smith and Jay and Silent Bob. Like, it's amazing. It's surrealist. It's surreal sometimes just how far we've come in such a short time.
So how many fans have contributed?
So we've got over 15,000 investors in Legion M. You don't have to be an investor to join and be a part of it. We actually have over 80,000 people in our community. So you can sign up for free at any time. There's no cost or obligation. We're not even raising money right now. So even if you wanted to invest today, there's no way to invest. And so, but it's one of those things. It's been doubling each year, and it's like a snowball rolling down a hill. And, you know, we see it in that the bigger we get, the more power we have as a community and as a company, and we're able to get into bigger and bigger deals and have a bigger and bigger impact.
Boy, I kind of wish that I could come to your annual meeting of investors. That must be a mini convention by itself.
Yeah, well, we're getting to that point. Like, we do big events. Los Angeles Comic-Con this year in October. We're going to do something very big there. We're always in San Diego. Sundance Film Festival. Sundance and Comic-Con, those are kind of the two endpoints, you know, of our spectrum, so to speak. And so, but it's a lot of fun. We also do a lot of the stuff we do is online, just because, you know, with 15,000 shareholders, they're spread all over, I mean, the world, frankly. They're mostly in the United States, but all over the world. And so, as much as possible, we try and do stuff online so people can participate no matter where they live.
Well, let's talk about some of your past projects. You already got 3 under the belt, and it started with Colossal, which was great with Anne Hathaway.
Yes,
I remember watching that. Yeah.
We love that movie. That was such a pivotal movie because at that time we were a small company. Everybody's like, oh, you're never going to be able to do anything in Hollywood. Like, you can only do like fan films, because we'd only raised about $1 million, which is nothing, like literally nothing in Hollywood's terms. But for us to be able to get into an Anne Hathaway project, first of all, with Dan Stevens, and it was incredible. But not only that, but that film represented so much of what Legion M is about. Like, it was so creative and so original. It was an up-and-coming filmmaker, Nacho Vigalondo, who has huge things in store for him. And so we could not have picked, we were so fortunate to get that as our first project.
And then after that, you got Dean Devlin from Independence Day to do and to do Bad Samaritan, which is even a greater movie.
Yeah, that was excellent, and the opportunity to work with Dean and that was really validating because, again, when we came in, we pitched Dean. He's like, okay, that sounds like a good idea. Let's try it out. By the end of it, he was so excited about Legion M and the impact that it had on Bad Samaritan. He said, he went at a Comic-Con panel, he's like, Legion M is the future of our industry. And he joined us as an advisor. And so to have somebody who's literally created billion-dollar franchises as part of our advisory board is just, it's again, it's a dream come true.
And one of your greatest films that a lot of people talk about, yes. Nick Cage in Mandy.
And Mandy, that one was funny. We actually were nervous going into that one. Have you seen the movie?
You know what? Out of the 3 movies, that was the only one I haven't seen, but everybody keeps on telling me about it.
It's an experience. I got to tell you, it is. Esquire magazine chose it as their best movie of 2018. It was the highest rated film coming out of Sundance last year. It's not for everybody. Like we tell everybody, watch the trailer. If the trailer looks fun to you, then you should check it out. But like my wife's never seen it, my kids have never seen it, and they probably never will, just because it's not intended for that, right? The director is Panos Cosmatos. This was only his second movie. He's like the next Stanley Kubrick, like seriously. And I think that's one of the things that resonates with people is that it's a Nick Cage, and it's Nick Cage like turned up to 11 in a very cool way. Like a lot of people. Like there's a scene in particular that is going to go down in Nick Cage's reel of the greatest Nick Cage scenes of all time.
That's what I've been hearing.
But it's more than that. It's also it's shot. It's such a visual, visceral movie. And Panos is just a master. And I think that the fact that they're still doing midnight showings of that film today even is a testament to the power of that film. And we're just, again, very fortunate and pleased to have been a part of it.
Now, of course, we're here at WonderCon, and you guys, and I know there's a heavy promotion of Tolkien,
yes.
the movie, which is totally different
yes.
from the 3 movies you guys actually previous. How did you guys get involved with this?
It's a great question, and we love Tolkien for a number of reasons. First of all, I'm a huge Tolkien fan. I've read The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings 3 or 4 times in my lifetime, and absolutely love that. They're foundational for me as a person. But aside from that, we wanted to show, like, okay, hey, we're not all doing dark horror movies. Like, this is our first PG-13 movie, so a movie that everybody can bring their family to. It's a wonderful movie. It's moving. It's heartwarming. It's a great film, and we're also very excited, frankly, to be working with the studio. This is the first relationship that we've had, in this case with Fox Searchlight, which was recently purchased by Disney. So again, for us as a 3-year-old company to be working now with a major studio on a release of this caliber it's a wonderful kind of next step for us. And we've always said from day one that we want our slate to be diverse across genre, across medium, across tone, and it's nice to be able to, show that through a project like Tolkien.
Yeah, I've been hearing good things about it, and I spoke with the cast earlier this weekend, and they're wonderful people.
Yeah, no, it's a great movie. I encourage you to check it out. It's coming out May 10th. We're going to be organizing meetups around the country. And what we do when our films come out is we usually create limited edition pins. So this was for Field Guide to Evil, which actually just came out on Friday night, which is a small horror movie. But you'll be able to come out, you can see the movie with a community of people that are people like us. And it's the sort of thing you can go, you watch the movie and then maybe you go grab a drink if you want to, and it's wonderful to see that community come together. You can get a great limited edition pin. We also have some other cool Tolkien exclusives that we haven't announced yet. So if you're a Tolkien fan, if you want to see it, just sign up for Legion M and keep your ears open because there's some good stuff coming.
For some exclusives.
Some cool exclusives, yes, yes.
Now, one of the more exciting thing, I know our website keep on posting stories about it, is is that Jay and Silent Bob.
Yes.
How did you guys get involved in that? I mean, there's gonna be a lot of fans on you guys.
Yes. Well, that one is so our projects span the whole realm of the production cycle. So Mandy, for example, we were an early investor in that film, so we have an equity investment. Colossal, on the other hand, and Bad Samaritan, those films were already done when we got involved, and we invested in what's called the P&A of the film. Jay and Silent Bob is very special to us because we've been working with Kevin Smith now for almost 2 years. In fact, it's over 2 years. We did our first project. We did an interview, a virtual reality project that we haven't released yet. That's something that's coming probably later this year, with Stan Lee and Kevin Smith inside of Stan's home. And we worked on that project with him. Then we were the company that got Stan's hand and footprints immortalized at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood. And we worked with Kevin on that. And so for us to now take this next step and invest as an early investor and one of the equity financiers of his movie is exciting. And it's wonderful because, again, as we grow and we've got these relationships, to give you an example, we raffled off a couple set visits to our shareholders.
Oh, wow.
We had the opportunity, and we're like, okay, well, I'd love to go visit the set, but I'd much rather share it, with one of our investors. And so we flew them out, or housed them in New Orleans where they were shooting, and then we're able to surprise them with a walk-on role as an extra in the background of one of the pivotal scenes in the movie. And so, and that's the sort of thing that you can do when you're working with someone like Kevin that you've got kind of a relationship with, and also someone like Kevin who respects and understands fans. I mean, he is all about this. He would be here today, I'm sure, if he could. And so it's exciting for us. Again, that they just finished shooting that one. It'll be releasing later this year. We got a lot of cool stuff planned for around the opening of that movie as well. So,
and I know you have a couple more projects that was just recently announced that you guys are excited about. Let's start with that. You managed to score the Hellboy screenwriter for Evermore.
Yes, Evermore is a family-friendly steampunk sci-fi multiverse, kind of like a Sliders, sort of thing. And Andrew, again, is somebody we've known for a while. He was the creator of Eureka, which was an amazing series on FX for a while. And as you mentioned, he was the co-writer of the new Hellboy, which comes out in a couple weeks. And so to get him to join as showrunner for that really kind of takes it to the next level. Like, that's really what these are about. So that's a property that it came from within the Legion. It's 2 Legion M members that wrote this. They're ex-military guys, and they've been writing on the side, and they met with our head of development literally at a con like this, pitched her the idea. She's like, yeah, it sounds cool. Why don't you send me your stuff? They sent it. She loved it. We sent it to Andrew. He loved it. And so, that's how it works. It's just about trying to build momentum and attach more people to it. But we're very excited about that project, and we're in the process now of trying to package it and sell it to a network. So fingers crossed.
Excellent. And there's another one that I believe it's called A Girl with No Name.
Yes.
Which is, you guys are taking a different tactic because that's going to be also a comic book series, right?
Yeah, so that one started as a film project. And so it's an award-winning screenplay. And the director, Tanya Wexler, is attached to it. And we were talking with them. And so the whole pitch behind it is, it's a Western, right? It's a storyline, think of like True Grit, right? But with a protagonist that's more like Katniss Everdeen or Ripley from Alien, like a really strong female lead that doesn't need the men around her to come save her. And what really got us excited is that while it happens to be set in the Old West, Tanya has this vision for a highly stylized, think of like 300 or maybe even like a Sin City or Kingsman or something like that. And so, what better medium to flesh that out than a comic book? And so we said, let's release a comic book, and it does a couple things. First of all, it helps build traction for the series and a fan base. So that now when we go to a studio, it's not just, hey, here's a great script, but here's a great script, and we've got these fans, and we've demonstrated that there's a desire for it. But on top of that, if you think of a comic book, is a lot like storyboards. And so the ability for her to do storyboards, release them to the public, we did it on Kickstarter so that people can be a part of the process. And when you back the comic book, one of the things that you get is you get invited to online development meetings so that we can get feedback from everybody. So Tanya and the producers can hear your thoughts on like, oh, well, what did you think of this? And what did you think of that? And so it's a really cool way, we believe, to help flesh out the visual style and build traction for it. And again, that's a project like Evermore that we're trying to package and attach talent to it now that we've got a director and sell it to a studio. So it'll be exciting.
There's a lot of things that's coming up on the horizon that's very exciting. Did I miss anything?
No, I got impressed. You did a great job on your research because we've got a lot of other projects on our slate. We're probably going to be making another announcement in the next week or two. And like I said, you just got to join Legion M. It's totally free. You can kind of keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on, and we've got great things in front of us.
Excellent. And so basically, if people want to basically participate in your company, right now they can't invest, but they could become a fan of their company.
Yeah, you can join for free. You get access to our members-only Facebook group. You get access to probably about 95% of the stuff that we do, whether it's our lounge at Sundance, our scout program that allows you from home to help be a scout for Legion M projects and help us discover our projects. Our Impulse system, which is the tool that we use to all of our projects. We go out to the community to get their feedback on them. And it's not a direct vote like, hey, should we do Kevin Smith's project or not do Kevin Smith's project? But every single project that we do, we put into this Impulse system and get the will of the Legion, all of our shareholders. So it's a wonderful community. It's this idea of, if you think about it, as fans, our wallets and eyeballs fuel everything here. This entire multi-trillion dollar global industry. And individually, each of us is just a consumer. But when we unite, we have this incredible power to shape the future of Hollywood. And so even if you don't want to invest in the company, if you just believe in that idea of a fan-owned company, you should come join us, be a part of it. At legionm.com, you can sign up, it's free, and we'd love to have you as part of the team.
I do want to know this. Is this going to make other studios nervous? Because they're basically a studio where they'll tell you what to watch, and you guys are going in reverse. I mean, no one else is doing this.
No one's been able to do it before, and there were laws in place, literally, that prevented it. But what we've seen so far, I think it's a good question. Like, we're not big enough yet to scare any studios. But instead what we see is there's a lot of studios that are very interested in it. And so, we think that it's a great opportunity. Hollywood's kind of a funny place because everybody in one sense is competing with everybody else for eyeballs and viewing time. But at the same time, everybody's partnering with everybody. And so, like I said, working on the Tolkien project is our first time working with a studio, and we're excited about it. We'd love to do more of it. We'd love to partner.
Excellent. And one more question, because I don't want to confuse people out there, because they're gonna know about Legion M, they're gonna watch interviews about Legion M, and then somebody was going to watch these things and say, hey, how am I going to pitch my story to Legion M? And we want to clarify they can't, right?
Well, we're not open. So there's a lot of legal issues around just having open submissions and this idea that anybody can submit a screenplay. So I'd say two things. First of all, we are a small community, and if you come to a Comic-Con, our head of development is right there, and our other head is right there, and they'll talk to you, and they'll give you frank feedback. And if they're interested, they'll receive your pitch, and if not, they'll give you good feedback and hopefully good advice on where you can take it. But as far as opening the gates and just saying, hey, submit us your pitch, we do that in the context of things like Pitch Elevator, where it's a defined program. And a lot of it is, frankly, we're a small company. We've had thousands of people, literally thousands of people have reached out to us saying, hey, I've got an idea for this. We'd love to hear them all, but like there's no way we could operate as a company to be able to do that. So that was what was great about the pitch elevator, was that it allowed anybody to submit their pitch, but then we also had the game aspect that allowed our community to do, to effectively filter it and find the best of the best. And so.
Excellent. So this is Jeff Annison, co-founder of Legion M, and they're here for the rest of the WonderCon, but we will get to see them on the Tolkien meet and greets, and also LA Comic-Con in the future. Anywhere else?
LA Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. There's a good chance we'll be at New York Comic-Con. We'd go to every Comic-Con we can, and as you know, there's like 3 every weekend somewhere in the United States. So we make a point to get as many of them as possible.
And don't forget to check out their future projects. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gig.